Did you watch the movie like what? Over 10 years after we first played this game? That's why if you ever mention Ethan Hunt, Tom Cruise's face only pops up in my head after this face here.
God, he's horrifying.
Okay, Gabe here.
And here's Johnny. Today we'll talk about what may be the game that introduced spy stories and shooters to our lives, the N64 Mission Impossible.
Apparently there's also a PlayStation version, with some lighting improvements, more voice acting and whatnot. But it doesn't matter because you never played it, so go to the next session.
Well, I suppose it's okay to spoil some of the plot of a 1996 movie, right? IMF, the Impossible Mission Force, is a team of highly trained individuals led by Jim Phelps, who are so good at what they do that he can always choose to accept missions the CIA sends them. What will happen if they refuse some world-threatening assignment, I wonder?
So they go on a fancy mission, somebody steals a list with all the non-official covert agents from the CIA, TAC list for short, and the blame falls on Ethan, who has to flee and catch the real mole to prove his innocence.
The game follows most of the movie plot, but adds an extra Siberian mission at the beginning and a bonus continuation to it after the main plot of the knock list.
And the main difference is that they removed Claire, who was Phelps' wife, another mole, and made Tom Cruise uncomfortable throughout the whole movie, and added Candice Parker as another computer expert agent to help Ethan with all the knock list techie stuff and to be escorted through some missions. Come on Candice, can't walk a little faster? We've got a time limit here. And most characters' names from the movie are around somewhere, usually doing one or another function differently.
When we think about spy games, usually 007 comes to mind, but his games were mostly linear first-person shooters. While Mission Impossible has a few moments of shooters in action, it is much more spy-ish than Bond's games.
I would say they are more like an exploratory puzzle kind of game, having you go across the areas, generally trying to draw the least amount of attention possible to yourself, gathering useful items and having to figure out where to use your fancy gadgets, in order to accomplish your tasks successfully.
The movement's quite stiff, especially when compared to today's standards. Come on Ethan, I just want to take a peek around the corner! But it mostly works well enough for you to do what you have to.
There are both possible and impossible difficulty levels, with impossible like the 00 agent difficulty from the 007 games had, usually adding many more objectives for you to complete and lowering your health, making the levels a little more interesting.
It does look quite dated, as you'd expect for any attempt at realism on an N64, but it fits nicely in the game. Squared-faced people, as emotionless as they can be, moving around like robots, it's great! And hands down the best headshot animation I've ever seen.
The levels are diverse enough, changing up the pace and avoiding boredom, and they aren't very long either. Probably to allow you to try using your stuff in varied places and fail often, without having to redo much. But man, is it easy to fail. If you forget to do a single objective, no matter how trivial it is, like for example, in the embassy level, where you have to put some thingamabobs in the ventilation shafts, if you skip a single one of them, it's mission failed, and back to the beginning of the level.
And we couldn't forget to mention how they just managed to ruin the most iconic scene in the entire movie, turning it into a frustrating, boring ass level that's practically impossible to pass perfectly. Hey, that's where it got its name from.
The songs aren't anything special either, but that's not to say they're bad. There are very few of them, so you're gonna hear the same song play at least twice during the game. But since there aren't that many levels to begin with, hearing the same song play again never gets annoying, and a few may still stick to you after playing, especially the variations of the main theme.
This game is a nice break from other shooters, having you thinking a little about what you're doing instead of just shooting your way through. It makes me want more games like this.
It doesn't add much after completion of both difficulties, as you already know how to pass the levels, lacking any variations on how you can make your way towards your goal or resolve any situation.
Yeah, I mean, in the first few levels I didn't even pay that much attention to the objectives. Because we played this game so many times when we were kids, I memorized exactly what needed to be done. So, you either follow the objectives to a T, or you're gonna get stuck.
But even so, I might finish it again someday. It's kinda good. Maybe next time you feel like playing 007, you should play this one instead.
And that's it for today. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you wanna get notified whenever we release new content.
And you can also click here to watch the last review we did.
See you on the next one.
Bye!